I am standing in front of the entire Winnipeg Indian Nation. A tomahawk in my hand. Every chief and brave is cheering for me, and my tribe is shouting my name. Little buffalo, little buffalo, little buffalo. This is a moment of triumph. I am filled with pride. And I have learned a lesson that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. When I was 7 or 8 years old, my father and I joined an organization called Indian Guides. And before I start my description, let me just say, this stuff is super insensitive and a clear-cut case of cultural appropriation. I can only say it was an earlier time. So I like to describe Indian Guides as scouting light. A lot of the same things as scouting, just none of the rigorous structure or actual merit badges that you earn and learn things. This was started by the YMCA about a century ago with the goal of fostering ties between fathers and sons. And the differences are telling. Where scouts might have a den or a troop, Indian Guides has a tribe of 8 to 10 dads with their sons. Where scouts go out camping and pitch their own tents and start their own fires and learn valuable survival skills, Indian Guides go on a powwow to a YMCA camp, and we stay in the barracks, and we eat at the mess hall, and we goof off. Now, when we weren't doing powwow, we had a monthly meeting, and that was called teepee. And when we went to this, we would get together and we'd sing songs, we'd do crafts. Again, incredibly laid back. So my father and I joined, and we were assigned to the Broken Arrow tribe of the Winnipeg Nation. We chose our Indian names, he, Big Buffalo, I, Little Buffalo. And as it turned out, this was really a good fit for us. Teepee was this chance once a month to spend time, just me and my dad. He traveled a lot for work in those days, and it was great having this guaranteed night that it was just the two of us, and that was very special. I liked hanging out with the other guys, I liked singing the songs, I liked doing the crafts. It was a great night out with Dad. But for as good as that was, what I loved was powwow. It was your basic kind of summer camp setup. You would go to the barracks and you would have canoeing and swimming in the summer months, and there'd be hiking on very well blazed trails, and there'd be campfires and singing and skits. Just a great time. The one thing I didn't particularly care for was the games. They would set aside a time on Saturday for each one of these things where we would have contests between the tribes, some of them individual, some of them group. And I didn't really care for this because I wasn't much of a competitive kid. A major reason I wasn't a hugely competitive kid was I wasn't any good at these games. But I was willing to play along and just not take it too seriously. The summer powwow of 1980, I was 10 years old. My chief, the chief of the Broken Arrow tribe, assigned me as one of my games to be our representative to the Tomahawk Toss. Now, before you get images in your head of 5th graders winging razor-sharp axes at trees, it was nothing like that. They had set up on a grassy area a target made up of concentric triangles. The outer one roughly 5 feet, the middle one 3 feet, and the center, the bullseye, about a foot to each side. And each boy had 3 chances to throw a wooden tomahawk and try and land it into this target. 1 point for the outer, 2 for the middle, 3 for a bullseye. The tomahawk itself was about this long, yay thick, with a rounded wooden head fitted into a notch at the top. They set us up for this, and they did it in height order, so I got to go last. And I got to watch everybody else doing this. And the thing is, there's no skill in this. This isn't throwing a football. This isn't throwing darts. This is the least aerodynamic thing you're ever going to find. And so guys would go up, and they were trying their hardest, but nobody was getting near the bullseye. I think one guy got one bullseye out of his 3 tries. So by the time I got up for my turn, I was feeling pretty good. It really didn't matter. If I stunk, I was just as good as everybody else. So I didn't worry about it. The chief who was running this particular event handed me my first tomahawk, and I just went back, shoved it through. Boom! Bullseye. I got a nice smattering of applause for that. I'm like, oh, feeling pretty good. All right. That's all I really need to do here. The chief hands me my second tomahawk. And I decide to ham it up a little bit, taking careful aim, checking the wind. And then when I was ready, chucked it. Boom! Bullseye. Now the applause are really big, and the guys playing games near us turn around to look and see what we're doing. The chief hands me my third and final tomahawk. Here you go. This is for perfection. Oh, yes, chief. Yes, I'll do my best. I've already done better than anyone else. This is gravy. I'm the best one at this, and that's never happened to me. I can throw this shot away and still walk away as the big winner. So this time I ham it up again, but with a little bit more solemnity. I close my eyes, take a deep breath. The tomahawk whirls through the air. I see it falling, and I can tell it's going to land just inside the outer triangle. I have a split second of disappointment. And then the tomahawk lands, takes this crazy bounce, and lands boom in the bullseye. At the awards ceremony the next morning, I was presented with one of these tomahawks that was inscribed with the details of my athletic prowess. And I'm standing there holding this thing, and I'm genuinely proud, because I never win this sort of thing. And yeah, it was luck, but I did earn it. And then it occurs to me that, you know, I just got lucky. And even though all I did was get lucky, these applause, people chanting my Indian name, this feels pretty good. And that's the lesson that I learned. It's the lesson known to any rock star who's walked up to a mic and said, "We love you, Cleveland!" That lesson is this: everyone loves cheap, unearned applause. And if somebody is willing to cheer me for my dumb luck, I will graciously accept.